So you're thinking about moving to Bend. All right, let's talk about all the pros and cons before you do, so you make sure you understand them all. And make sure you stick around for the one at the end, because I don't think you're gonna be aware of it. All right, let's talk about the pros. Pro number one, can you guess what it is? Here, I'll give you a hint. You wanna live in the Pacific Northwest, but you don't wanna be horribly, horribly depressed all winter long. Can you guess what it is? All right, it's the sun. Here in Central Oregon, here in Bend, you get 300 days of sun per year. So if you want all the best parts about living in the Northwest, all the best parts about winter where you get snow, you get access to skiing, you get these bright, clear, crisp, sunny days with snow on the ground, you gotta come to Bend. Now granted, Bend doesn't have a lot of snow on the ground through the winter, which is another pro, because it melts pretty quick, but you got access to it. Within half an hour drive, you get the best ski resort in Oregon, arguably, is Mount Bachelor. You can make a case for the Wallowas, but that's so inaccessible for the common folks. So here you want to live in Bend, you get access to the sun. It's amazing all winter long. All right, let's talk about pro number two, access to outdoors and recreation. So with this, we've got, like I mentioned, we've got Mount Bachelor, arguably the best ski mountain in Oregon, which is only half an hour away. You've got amazing mountain biking with Phil's Trail and a bunch of trail networks just outside of town. And then you can paddleboard the Deschutes River right through town. So you get off of work, you want to go have a paddle, get around, you got that. You've got amazing trails inside the city. You've got amazing biking inside the city, road biking. In the spring, one of my favorite things to do is bike the Highway 242. It's closed to cars, so you get to bike the old McKenzie Highway. And it's amazing. You basically get to bike through the mountains. There's no cars on the road for this special month of the year. I love to take my daughter and the little Burley on that. That's a special one. You got amazing snowmobiling. You've got sunrise hikes, Tumalo Mountain when it's not covered in snow. When it is, you can hike up and split board down, ski down, get your AT setup going. And then you've got amazing camping, amazing waterfalls. The access to recreation, again, some of the best elk hunting is in central eastern Oregon. That's all around here. So access to everything without being mired down in a big city. Okay, let's talk about pro number three. This is a great place to raise a family and or a dog. So let's start with a dog, because that's easy. You can take your dog anywhere. Like a lot of restaurants, you show up without a dog and somebody's like, hey, do you need a dog while you're here? People are so friendly, so accommodating to pups in restaurants, bakeries, everywhere you go. There's like just as many off-leash areas as there are endless miles of trails in town for dogs to walk. So if you like bringing your dog out and about in town, you can't beat Bend. It's basically a giant dog park. Okay, let's talk about raising a family here. I mean, this is amazing. One, it's incredibly safe. Two, it's some of the best schools around, best academics, best athletic programs. And then three, it's like the kids, there's so many kids here. So there's so many social opportunities. There's so many arts programs. There's so many athletics for them to get involved in. And then they get to explore the whole natural world. So again, they're not in this like crazy concrete jungle of a city. I mean, I really, truly believe Bend is all the best parts of a big city without any of the downsides. Bend is where it's at. It is basically a family town. I highly recommend it. If you're looking to raise a family, I mean, you can't beat it. Because especially once kids can start biking around, they're kind of emancipated where they can go be free with their friends, bike around the city. You don't have to like helicopter parent them. I'm sure you can if you want to. Okay, that brings us to pro number four. What's the best way to unwind after work? Grab a beer, grab a dog, and hang out. We've got amazing breweries here. We've got Deschutes, we've got Boneyard, we've got Immersion Brewing, Monkless. And for the kombucha lovers, you've got Hum Kombucha. So you've got over 30 breweries here in Bend. It's just a mecca for basically craft brewing. And I don't know, I feel like that's such an indicator of the culture of a place when you have a lot of people that are keen to start something up, keen to like put their heart and soul into something they really care about and give that to the community. I think it's kind of like your indicator. It's like, do you live in a place that just has like big industrial breweries and there isn't that like soul of the startup? Or do you live in a place where it's like, there's a lot of people making things happen? I think that's really indicative. All right, cool. Let's talk about number 5, the excellent food options. Me, myself, I could survive on bread and butter alone, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the bakeries first, but then we'll get into the restaurants and cafes and martini bars. Okay, so our bakery, you can't beat the ocean roll. And where do you get the ocean roll? We're talking Sparrow Bakery. I mean, that's the classic, the cardamom ocean roll. It's amazing. You got to try it if you haven't had it. Nancy P's is amazing for pastries. The Pantry, coffee shops. Again, I'm a big fan of coffee shops. My favorite little hole-in-the-wall spot is Palette. Check it out if you get a chance. Then you got Lone Pine, Back Porch. We got a bunch of coffee shops here. The Commons is a great one. They'll have open mic nights. I mean, it's just a great venue. All right, restaurants. So we'll just get into a couple of them. We're talking Jackson's Corner is an amazing one. El Sancho for the tacos. And then the crowd favorite, Spork. You gotta check it out. Okay, and then cocktails. I'm not the most savant on all the cocktails, but there's Dear Irene, Zydeco, and a few others. But again, there's great cocktails to be had here. Okay, pro number 6. I had to get this one in here, and this one is debatable. People can say either way, it's a good or a bad. Can you guess what it is? Okay, Bend is growing fast. Central Oregon is growing fast. It's becoming more and more known that the quality of life you get is kind of unmatched. So you get access to nature, you get access to everything, all the good things about being in a city without the bad things, great water. So it's growing fast. And so I see that as a pro because if you're looking to buy a house, it's gonna increase in value. And Bend is still small enough, it's like in the 150,000 people range, where like it's not crazy big. It's not 500,000, it's not a million. It's not like aching under the growing infrastructure. And actually, if you go around town, you might complain like, oh, there's road construction going on. But that's a good thing. Like the city is constantly sizing up their infrastructure, improving it. Like they're doing a really good job with how it's growing. And personally, I think this is one of the best pros of Bend. If you want to come to a great place and have an investment that's going to grow into the future, I mean, you can't beat a place that's growing. Okay, let's talk about pro number 7, the healthcare. So St. Charles pretty much runs the show here as far as conventional Western medicine, and they do a good job. They've got most facilities that you need. If you absolutely needed more specialized care, you could get to a bigger city like Portland. But for everything like emergency care, everything run-of-the-mill, all the orthopedic stuff, you break yourself on the mountain, St. Charles has you covered. And then there's a ton of kind of the Eastern medicine stuff like acupuncture. So you're well covered here in Bend. As far as healthcare goes. Okay, let's talk about the cons. Con number 1. What comes with the beauty of a great place that has access to everything? It's expensive. So in 2020, the median home price was $530,000. And just 5 years later, can you guess what it is? Well, it's $835,000. So it's jumped basically, what is that, like 70%? I mean, it's unreal how fast it's grown. People have discovered Bend. Now you have to ask yourself, what's the median home price gonna be 10 years from now? Yeah, $835 is expensive, but it's gonna continue to grow. And that's the double-edged sword with living in a great place. Yeah, you would have been better off buying here in 2018, but what do they say? The best day to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the next best day is to plant it today. So anyway, see the trajectory, understand it's expensive, and it's gonna get more expensive. So if you're serious about getting in, the time to do it is sooner rather than later. Okay, con number 2, the smoke in the summer. Man, it's real and it's getting worse. There's no doubt about it. It's gotten to the point where some people are actually moving away because the smoke is so bad in the summertime. They say, hey, I moved here for all the summer recreation, but the reality is that the summer can be oppressive with the smoke. The valley, the high desert valley can kind of collect the smoke, and honestly, the fires will pop up out of nowhere. The sagebrush burns like crazy around here, and we can have fires with a high wind event, and that can be threatening to property very, very quickly around here, and it's only getting worse. So make sure you educate yourself about the smoke and the fire season before you come here. This is probably the one of the biggest things that's gonna just continue to get worse over time. In my opinion, People come here for the summer. One of the best places to be is here for the winter. I think the winters here are amazing. Okay, con number 3, the lack of diversity. There is a ton of white people here, and if you're looking for diversity, you're probably better off checking out the different colors of Patagonia jackets. Let's be real. So that's just the nature of the beast here. Hopefully it gets better. It's about 80% white, pretty much standard for Oregon. Hopefully it gets better. Con number 4, limited job opportunities. This is definitely a place with all the recreation. There's a ton in the service industry. There's a ton in the trades. There's a ton in healthcare. But if you're looking for that kind of higher salary, like C-level suite, that kind of thing, you kind of got to bring it. A lot of people who move here bring their jobs with them. They work remotely or they work hybrid schedules. Redmond's got a great airport where people can commute to their work, whatever that looks like. So that can be a con. Honestly, like as far as the trades, the blue collar, the service industry, it's thriving. It's bumping. So that aspect is good. Just the really high dollar salary jobs you got to bring on your own. Okay, con number 6, and this could be a pro or a con. Bend is a bit remote. I actually think it's a blessing. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't, so to speak. Bend is kind of on an island surrounded by mountains and desert. It's 3 hours to get to the coast, 3 hours to get to Portland. So, you're a bit isolated in that way, but again, I think you have everything you need here. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Okay, that wraps up our pros and cons. My name is Luke Callahan. I'm a local realtor. I like to think of myself as an expert in Bend, and I would love to help you find your home if you're thinking about moving here. Don't hesitate to text or call anytime. It's never a burden. Even if you're not going to move here for a year or two, I'd still love to start the conversation, figure out what you're looking for, help you, point you in the right direction, so on and so forth. And if you like this video, make sure you send it to a friend. You like and subscribe, help grow the channel, and engage in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.